Before we start today's show, today we want to give a big shout out to Buzz TV. Man, Buzz TV has some really good devices, man. Like this last year, they've come up with some good stuff, and this new year, I'm excited to see what they got.
Yo, it's going to be straight fire. Some devices and features, because I don't want to say one or the other. With Buzz TV, it's hand in hand. They've dropped some fire devices and some amazing features that are always taking things to the next level. We also have been in talks with Ohmnilabs Robotics, bringing their telecommunication devices and robots to the next level, bringing everybody closer together.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys, their telepresence that you get is very cool. If you guys don't know what telepresence is having a pretty much a robot in front of you where you are remoted somewhere else, and it's like you're there physically, but not really physically. You're there through the robot. It's very cool. Make sure you guys check them out in the description below. Make sure you guys do check out that link.
You also want to make sure that no matter what you do online, you stay protected. There's so many VPN services out there. We talk about all the time. Make sure that you guys try them out. You check them out. See which ones work best for you.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys do check out those VPNs. We do have a couple of them that we recommend in the description below. So make sure you guys do get those. Just get protected, guys. So don't forget to check out the description below for all of these guys that we have shouted out today.
You know, no matter where you guys are listening, watching, whatever from, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, that like, drop us a comment, and the reviews actually help us a great deal. If you're looking to do anything for us in this year coming and beyond, the reviews help other viewers like yourself find this podcast and enjoy it as well. So thank you guys. And with all that being said, let's start the show.
And welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Streams. We've had several conversations with Ohmnilabs, and today we're going to be diving a little bit further. And you could see Next Level's face; very excited about this already. How are you doing, Next Level?
Doing fantastic. I'm drinking my my coffee and my energy drink all at once this morning. All hyped up for this. It's been a busy weekend, just catching up with everything. But you know, we started Beyond the Streams because of conversations after the fact, but now we're finding that we're having amazing conversations even before we get recording. So I'm super excited for this one with William here.
Yeah, definitely. So William, if you can give us a quick introduction, who you are, what you do, and just that way that people get a good feel of who it is and what it is that you do.
Cool. Yeah. It was great talking to you guys before the stream. My name is William, and I work at Ohmnilabs, the social media marketing side of our operation here, and been working with the company for 3 years now, almost 3 years now. And yeah, it's just been a great experience. I've helped them. They have a sister company in blockchain. It's also robotics based, so that's where I started there, and then gradually started helping more and more on the Ohmnilabs side of things. So it's been a wonderful experience so far.
Nice. So far with your experience with Ohmnilabs, I guess, what is your most favorite part?
My favorite part is the people. Definitely the way that we help people. It's very human centric, human focused. So, when you see these stories about how Ohmni is helping a child go to school, or an elderly person connect with their families, to me, that's the best thing, because, we're making an impact in people's lives. And, I'm a sucker for that, for sure.
Yeah, I'm a big sap head as well, too. Those emotional connections, they definitely last a lifetime. We've had some really interesting conversations on this platform with companies like Rendeavor, who's connecting with seniors, and Spot On, who's been working with dogs and just helping those connections grow stronger. So it's an amazing feeling when we can create those moments in people's lives with our products and our services. I am a little bit curious though. You're the social media manager at
Correct.
Ohmnilabs, but you
Yep.
started over at their crypto mining side, was it?
No, it's not mining. Basically, Cambria aims to open source development for robotics. So, right now, people building robots, it's very siloed. It's very centralized.
Mhm.
So, if you want to build a robot, you need, millions of dollars in research and development. Nobody shares their information. So, Samsung isn't, sharing their technology with anybody else, and anybody else who creates a robot. So, we want to, make that process open so that if one person creates some really useful technology, then another person would be able to utilize that technology so they don't have to start from the ground up. So instead of taking years to build a robot that can get to market and help people, instead of taking millions of dollars to be able to launch your idea, you'll have a platform and a base to start from. And so, their idea is basically decentralizing technology innovation. It's not just for robotics, though that is, one of the main aspects, but it could be for artificial intelligence or any other frontier technology that somebody wants to build. So, our platform aims to, build the first 90% so that you just need to, complete the last 10%. So it allows people to launch their ideas quickly.
It's crazy. It's a open source coding and hardware development platform for people to really get started. That's what it sounds like to me, right?
Exactly. And the main base actually that a lot of people would most likely start from is the Omni robot. So if you're a robotics developer, you have this idea for a robot, you could actually utilize the Omni robot as a base, and then add to it from there. And we've had examples of universities using Omni robot to build their machine learning facial recognition robots, to suit their needs.
That's cool. So I'm curious because I started geeking out, and I don't know why I didn't ask when we were talking to Troy on the interview before. But what type of coding do you guys use for the open source?
Oh, I'm not a developer. We actually have custom coding for the Cambria side on the open source. So our code base is not available yet.
Mhm.
So I'm not exactly sure, on the development side what language is used. But I'm pretty sure it's based off Node.js, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. But don't quote me on that. Yeah.
What was your experience like starting with Ohmnilabs or their sister company? Was it Umbria?
Cambria, yes.
Cambria. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
with a K.
With a K, Cambria. Starting with them as the social media manager. Like, was it something that you sought out, or they came and they found you, or how did that onboarding process go?
It was actually through a mutual connection. They made the introduction, and the onboarding experience was wonderful. These group of people, from the top down, executives to everybody that I work with, are passionate, they're kind, they're friendly, they're insanely smart. So for me, it's been the best job I've ever had, the most exciting job I've ever had. And, they feel more like a family than colleagues at this point. So,
It's kind of crazy to think that I'm working for a robotics company, right?
yeah.
And when you start to talk about Cambria and the open source aspect of it, to me, it sounds like the Omni robot is really a base for anything because you can build anything off of the Omni robot. What was, I guess, your initial experiences getting involved with the robot and I guess trying to educate people on social media with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main part is to be able to show them the utility. I have one here behind me, as you can see, and using it's extremely easy. It's extremely intuitive. So trying to communicate and show people all the different ways that it can be used, because really it's a very subjective thing. Depending on your needs. So demonstrating and showing case studies and examples of how we have many robots in children's hospitals for children who are unable to get out of the room, whether it be immunocompromised or incapacitated in some other way. and they're using these robots to, get out of the room and go participate in activities or visit with their family, or, there's so many different ways that you can use telepresence. There's no one way or one right way to use it. It all depends on your needs. So just, showing people these examples of how other people are using it, how you can use it, and then, providing any other relevant information for them. It's really just about connecting with people. I mean, what is technology if it's not to benefit and improve the quality of life? Right? So just showing people how it can make their lives better is really connecting with them.
Yeah. So, for people who don't know what telepresence is, what exactly is telepresence?
So telepresence is any technology that will allow you to have a presence somewhere else. So in our case, for the robot, it's completely mobile. It's controlled through a smartphone or computer. And basically, it will allow you to navigate and traverse wherever the robot is. You can tilt the head, so it's very, human-like. If somebody's sitting down, you can, speak to them, or drive forward. And so it basically allows you to be in two places at once.
Now, with some of the usages that people have been using it in I guess in a real world setting, what settings have you seen so far people use?
Oh, so many different settings. A lot of our customers are industrial and enterprise use case. So if you're, traveling a lot or you manage multiple facilities, you can, check in to said facilities from home, especially with the COVID-19 crisis. So they will allow you to perform process improvement inspections, attend meetings, meet with and collaborate with colleagues. You have very strong presence in the medical field, in hospitals, retirement homes. And so it allow families to connect with patients. I already told you about the children's hospitals that use them. They have a lot of activities to keep the children entertained, and some kids can't leave the hospital room, unfortunately. It's really, really sad situation, but to see them, so happy and smiling to be out of the room, or to be in their schools. We have a lot of robots in schools. There's children who can't attend. So this will, you have these education institutions that, it's about learning, but there's so much more in the social aspect that, isolation is hard for anybody. So, these children are able to go to school and talk to their friends and eat with their friends and talk to their teachers one-on-one, face-to-face. A lot of families use Omni, especially to connect with their aging parents. We have one story where Omni actually saved a life. There was a woman named Elaine who her family could not reach her, and she had fallen down. Her son was trying to call her. He logged into the robot, drove around, found her on the ground. She couldn't get up. Called the ambulance, and she was okay. So there's a lot of really cool stories.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Would you say, well, what would you say is the most surprising use that you've seen? Because we all have, I guess, stories when you work with a company and you have a product where you never knew that it could be used for that scenario. And customers or people that use our products generally are pretty creative of finding ways to use it that we never thought of. So what would you say is the most creative way that you've seen one of the robots being used?
Yeah, I definitely have to give that to Phoenix Children's Hospital. They have a whole variety of games that they play. They have these Easter egg hunts. They have they dress them up like superheroes so that people in the community can come and visit them, like Spider-Man and Thor. But I definitely have to mention some of the sports teams that have used Omni to allow fans to watch the games during the pandemic. That was definitely a surprise, one that, I didn't expect. They've had Omni. There's been Omni at food drives, with sports players connecting with the local community. It's really cool to see some of the ingenious ways that people come up with to use them.
Can you tell me a little bit more about how they used it to watch the sports game? Like, how did that setup process go? What did it look like?
Yeah, so it's AS Roma football, soccer team, and they had the robots in the entranceway as the players were coming in. They would wave and talk to the
Oh,
robot,
that's cool.
kind of like a meet and greet too before the
Yeah.
game, where you could, if you were lucky enough to log into the robot and interact with the players. And there, I saw photos of, Omni on the sidelines, watching the game. And as you know, it's mobile, so they can, turn it and, just watch the action. It's really cool because people can't be there, but now they can, through this technology that we've built.
Yeah, I actually had came up with an idea. Nexo and I were talking about this. And I'm just like, and I don't think anybody has done this yet, so we're going to be the first, hopefully. But my idea was next year, hopefully, once this whole COVID crap is done, and we're able to go and see each other in person and high five and have a drink. I was telling Nexo, I was like, what we should do is get one of these robots and have it follow us, and have it carry our roadcasters, our mics, and take it to CES. I'm like, what better place than CES, where it's a hub of tech, and we just go from booth to booth from different companies and do this, just talk with different people, interview different people,
Turn it into a podcast robot.
turn
That
it
would
into
be
a
fun.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been to CES. We didn't go this year, but actually we did. It was virtual, so
Yeah.
we did go to CES this year. But we've been pretty much every year for the last 5 years, except for 1 year. It's that place is insane.
Yeah.
That was my first time going, and I was overwhelmed. I'm such a geek. I love technology, like grew up with it, obviously, and yeah, that place is amazing. I'm sure they would love to have that. Have you guys do that for sure?
Now, the first time that you went, was that with Ohmnilabs?
Correct. Yeah.
So, when you first walked in, did you go there when you guys were still setting up, or was everybody already set up and the public was coming in already?
It was just before the public. The booth was pretty much set up when I got there, but there wasn't a lot of people there. I was a few hours early, basically.
Okay, so did you get a chance to walk around without the people inside?
Only briefly. I was, helping the team, of course.
Yeah. So, my first time to CES was last year, and it was insane. Like, I walked in, I downloaded the app, and then I went through all the companies that I'm just like, okay, these are the ones that I want to see for sure. And then hopefully maybe along the way I'll connect with somebody that I didn't have time with, but at least they're on the way and I can say a quick hi. It was beyond overwhelming. Like, it's so big.
Huge.
Yeah, and they pretty much take over almost the entire Vegas Strip. So, like, if you're going to one hotel, if you want to see another company, you got to go to a different hotel or a different convention, and you definitely can't walk from place to place. Like, if you're there in this one convention, then you're pretty much there for the day because there's so much
Traffic too.
and traffic. And I know they have the buses, but yeah, it's just it's a lot. So yeah, I know one of the things I was telling Next, I'm like, man, it'll be so cool to do that. Turn into a podcast robot. Maybe we'll come up with a name for it.
Yeah, I might have to meet you there. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. The Sands is so beautiful, and that place is so large. I remember the catwalk across the street to the other convention center. It's amazing how many people can fit in these buildings.
Yeah. Now, when you went for the first time, did Ohmnilabs did you guys have like a stage or any kind of platform where you guys could do the demos, or were you guys just in your booth? How did that look?
No, they put us in the mop closet over. No, I'm kidding. No, we had a booth. We definitely didn't have a stage, but we did have a couple presentations on stage. You know, I believe there was a one contest that Tra participated in, where, you know, she got on stage and talked about Omni. We definitely had a couple of panels and presentations, but most of the time we were at our booth. We had a booth. You know, I forget where it was, but yeah, we definitely talked to a lot of people, demonstrated, you know, we had Omni on the floor there, and a lot of people were very curious, especially a few years ago now, because this is pretty much right when I first started. The technology wasn't as popular as it is today. So a lot of people really didn't know what they were looking at. Now, telepresence has grown so much, especially due to COVID. So I'd definitely be interested to go back and see, you know, how the reception is now.
Yeah.
You said that a lot of people were obviously curious because the technology wasn't as popular. What would you say at that booth was your most common question?
Probably how you can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What its purpose was. We had, you know, obviously a lot of, you see a robot, you're like, oh wow, what is this?
Right.
So yeah. I mean, you know, right just before that time, there was a few episodes on, you know, various TV shows that would show a robot. You know, there was the Beam robot was on. I forget the name of that comedy show, but so there was, you know, some attention
Right.
to the technology, but not like today.
Yeah. Now you did say, well, you know, well, we both talked about COVID a little bit. How is Ohmnilabs going to look after COVID?
Yeah, I mean, we're pushing forward. You know, obviously COVID is a very unfortunate situation, but really sad. But through this, you know, we've gotten the opportunity that we can show people how this technology allows you to be in two places at once. So, you know, what I personally think is that a lot of companies will not go back 100% to the way they were before. You know, a lot of people are working from home now, but you know, they still have colleagues and facilities that they need to engage with. Very similar situation for schools and hospitals. So I think that moving forward, it will be somewhat of a hybrid situation where, you know, people may go in for only a few days and then work from home, or some people may stay home full time, but they still have to collaborate with other people. And then, of course, the healthcare situation with, you know, people who are isolated, alone, whether it be in a nursing home or children's hospitals. You know, those people will still, you know, continue to benefit as they normally would. But yeah, I think that telepresence is still very strong, regardless, moving forward. And you know, I don't think that business as usual will necessarily be business as usual, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, you know, hold on next. I got one more. I think it would be cool, because I think the senior care, healthcare, I think some of that stuff is very, like for sure that's stuff that they should have already, like in either the facilities or like in somebody's home. But I think one thing that I think would be very, very cool if you guys could lock this in, and I don't know, maybe this is a pitch to like all sports teams out there, but if there's a way to say, hey, you guys could buy some kind of, like you said earlier, meet and greet, or something that you can see all the people where they're lining up in the tunnels or where they're coming up to the court, or you know, like any sport, like you can really think about it, like any sport that's out there doesn't really matter. But if you could have something like that, like a pregame or like an after game, where a lot, like I think sports teams could really benefit in this too, because this could be another source of income for them, for the you know, all the companies out there to say, hey, let's get all these robots, we could sell these tickets, and then like fans like me could be like, hey, I want to remote in, and you know, if I get like 2 seconds to talk to I don't know, my one of the quarterbacks or one of the basketball players, just to say, dude, good luck, go crush it. That would be pretty cool to experience something like that. And then not only have it in there, but when it comes to like how they have the big old screens and stuff on the in the field or in the arenas, it'll be really cool to show like a montage of how this is working. Like even though you couldn't like for instance, like 2 years ago when the State Warriors were just crushing everybody, it was expensive to buy a ticket. But 8 years before that, it was dirt cheap to buy a ticket because they sucked, you know? So it would be another way to say, like, hey, maybe the tickets sold out, or maybe they're just too expensive. But here's another way that you could enjoy, like, you could actually get a more that one-on-one experience, like if you're there in person, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it could even be a charity deal too, you know.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
what the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Ravens, they've all done events. There's more. Those are just the three that are coming to mind now, that have done, you know, various activities, and we're super excited. Yeah, sports teams, if you want to work with us or get robots for this, you know, we're more than happy to support and help. And you know, we love this for sure.
I'm gonna grab that link and just blast it to every sports team out there and see what happens.
I was going to make just a quick comment when you said going forward, we're probably going to be looking at more of a hybrid situation. And I completely agree with you because, people were wondering, oh, we're having, less and less people actually going to work. Some people are out of jobs right now. Why hasn't the real estate market dropped in price? We keep seeing that the houses keep going up and up and up. And that's because people are actually moving into a different style, right? They're looking for a house, maybe bigger houses that have in-home offices. They're moving further away from work to kind of get cheaper real estate, but bigger properties, right? So, and I think that it definitely is going to be going into a hybrid situation. More and more people are aware of, I guess, exponential health risks going forward. We're only getting new health risks. Like new things keep popping up every few years. So people are becoming more conscious of those situations. And there will be more times where we're separated from, our friends, our family, our loved ones. We're moving further away. And I think that, it is going to be a matter of time before most people have an appliance like a telepresence robot in their house. When you guys were talking about celebrities, it had me thinking about something, and actually not celebrities, but sport teams, but it had me thinking about something. There's websites like Cameo and Memo. And what they do is they have celebrities do customized personal messages, right? So you could have, I don't know, Jay-Z do a message for your friend saying happy birthday, and they get to put their own price on that or whatever. So I think a telepresence robot has a place in there somewhere. You imagine if you have a telepresence robot and Jay-Z can dial into it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That would be interesting for sure.
I thought you were gonna say Kanye. You always bring up Kanye somehow.
That's because you wanted to run for the presidency of United
Hey,
States.
I do want to talk to Kanye. That'd be an interesting conversation.
It would be.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
There's just so much interesting things that you guys can do with it. And I think that there's a lot of companies that are doing, I guess, innovative things already that can take it to another level when they involve something like a telepresence robot.
Yeah, there's really no limit to human ingenuity, right? Like people are going to surprise you all the time.
How many years did you say you were working for Omni now?
Just under 3.
Just under 3. I did want to ask you, when you first started, the robots are not the same robots that you started with 3 years ago, right?
No, I think we're on Gen 13 now. So the robots have evolved a lot, and because we are 3D print most of the robot, we create our own PCBs. We even build the 3D printers that print the robots. So we have robots printing robots. So it allows us to quickly make changes and deploy them, to market rapidly and for a lower cost, which is how we're able to pass that savings on to our customers. So, when we get feedback, we always listen to, our community and our customers. And if changes are necessary, then, we can quickly get to work on that and issue these changes.
I know that when we talked to Tra, we had mentioned that we did a podcast with Mark Forge, and Mark Forge is a 3D printing company who's actually able to 3D print copper, which is pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah, that is cool.
So we mentioned that to Tra. I'm not sure if she reached out just for some kind of questions or whatever, but she seemed really interested in that idea as well. So in the last 3 years, there's been innovations in regards to software and hardware for the telepresence robot. And I'm also going to assume AI. Can you talk a little bit about some of those innovations or how that's been developed across the last 3 years with the telepresence robots?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, the one behind me is the 3-year-old version, and it had some, machine learning AI features then, but now, it has evolved quite a bit. We're now using a 4K camera that has better streaming, it has zoom capabilities, and right now, it's not turned on because I'm actually upgrading to the new one. I have it in the other room. If I were to put it in a room and say, okay, park, it will look for the charging station and navigate in such a way that it can, charge itself. And, that's a small thing that you think about, but for an elderly person, that's a big deal because, a lot of people either can't operate the technology or they don't know how. So these, small things where, it can charge itself. But we are working on the ability for Omni to navigate by itself in a house. After it will map the room by itself and be able to, set on schedules and drive to a different room. If you tell it to go into the kitchen or wherever it needs to go, it will be able to do that and avoid any obstacles along the way.
Nice. What about I gotta ask this. Voice recognition. Can how we got our Amazon devices and our Google Assist and all that? Is there any way that you guys are gonna create something that says, "Hey, Omni, call Next Level"?
Actually, Omni does do that. I just don't know if it's public yet. So we do have that ability for Omni. It is based off the Google Voice, but it's custom for Ohmnilabs. But yeah, it right now, you can ask it for, weather or information, things of that nature, but you wouldn't be able to control it apart from the one feature that we built was Follow Me Omni, and it would actually recognize your face, and if you're, maybe you're backpedaling, it will follow along with you.
Oh, that's
kind of
cool.
like when we're using like our DJI cameras that have the facial recognition and they follow you around. Same kind of software.
Yes, correct.
Pretty awesome. Can you talk a little bit more about navigating? Because you said that it's learned how to map rooms and see what objects are in the way. What was that process like? And are we at the point where it's mapping it pretty successfully and able to, I guess, avoid hazardous objects that could cause it to fall over or something like that?
Right. Well, first of all, Omni is very has a very low center of gravity. So the battery, the PCB, pretty much everything that makes Omni apart from the screen is in the base. So it's not an easy thing to tip over. It's got nice big wheels on it. It'd be pretty difficult to knock Omni over without hitting it from the top. And I've seen a demo of it a couple of times, and it works very well. I believe they're using LiDAR to map the room, and it will, make some passes around the room and detect where any objects are and, avoid them after it's done mapping the area. It's not live yet. It's something that we're working on, and it's successful so far.
Nice. I like the sneak peeks that we're getting.
Yeah. I don't know if we can share that, but,
I feel like I've seen some clips of it on the YouTube channel, maybe.
I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't think it's clips of this that I'm talking about. No.
Oh, okay.
If it is, I haven't seen it. Yeah. I don't manage the YouTube, so. Yeah.
So which social media platforms do you manage for Ohmnilabs? And if people are looking to, I guess, get the latest news that you're posting out, which platform should they be following you guys on?
So we try to post the same important content to Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So those are the three main. We may have some variation on the three, but if it's anything important news wise, it's going to be on all three of them. I would say LinkedIn is probably because a lot of our is in the professional space. So, LinkedIn's obviously a great place for that. But Twitter and Facebook, yeah, follow us, like us, show your support. We love to engage with the community. I always love to hear stories and talk to people. So if you have any questions, you want to talk to us on social media, it's everything at Ohmnilabs. So facebook.com/Ohmnilabs, Twitter/Ohmnilabs, and LinkedIn is company/Ohmnilabs. So.
How many countries would you say Ohmnilabs is in right now?
Oh, wow. A lot. Yeah. We're based in Silicon Valley, but a lot of our team is in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. So, we have two very large markets there. We're in China, we're in Australia. We have Omni in a lot of schools in Australia, New Zealand, and Europe. So it's definitely a global operation.
And it's my understanding, because I haven't obviously seen the Telepresence robot firsthand, but they are very compact. And from my understanding as well, they're very light for what they are.
Yes.
They're very easy to ship, or how is that shipping process if you're taking it to another country?
So Omni does fold up.
It's kind of cool that you can just grab it like that. I'd be kind of scared to grab a robot by its neck like that.
Yeah, probably not the greatest place. No, it's fine. It's pretty sturdy.
Yeah.
There's just a little pull clip right here.
Yeah.
And, when you pull it, it'll fold up, and then we have boxes that are custom built for Omni, so that has all the foam and padding. It's really, really safe to ship. It's a well built machine for sure.
So if somebody was traveling with their Telepresence robot or their Ohmnilabs robot, would they use the same box that it came in when it was shipped, or is there like cases, or how does that work?
I would say it would definitely depend on how you're traveling. I couldn't imagine you bringing the box on a plane with you. You could check it and stow it. Obviously, it's a pretty big box, but I would say most people probably ship it. But like what, we've had people bring them in the cars with them. They just put it in the back seat, put the seatbelt around it, clip it in just like a real person, drive around with it. I mean, I've had it in my car, driving, to show hospitals and schools, what Omni is about. And yeah, it's really easy to move. So
yeah, that's probably what I would have to do when, because Tross said she would send me one before CES, that way I could mess with it. And then when I get there, I'm just like, well, I was already thinking it's probably going to be sitting in the back seat of the car, and someone's going to think it's a real person sitting back there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Would you pretty much be doing the same thing that you just did there by folding, I'm going to call it the neck of the Ohmnilabs robot down to fit it in the car?
Yes. And yeah, it's literally you just pull out the tab, and it's magnetic, so you have to pull it and then grab it with your hand, but it takes 2 seconds.
That's pretty cool. That's
pretty
cool. I like the idea that
short ones too. Like we have taller and shorter Omnis, depending on your needs.
Oh, I didn't know that one. What's the shortest one you guys have?
Oh, it's pretty short. I want to say it's probably about 4 feet tall.
All right, and the tallest?
About 5 feet, 4.5, 5 feet. They're about a foot or so different.
Huh.
I've only seen the small one a couple times, but yeah, it's very cute looking. Like, oh, that's a cute robot.
Little baby.
Rohas, are you looking for one for your desk where it follows you around when you're working on something? Is that what you're looking for?
Yep.
A desk model.
A desk model.
So I'm just trying to see, like, it's just so amazing that you can just fit that in your car and drive it around. So if people are getting it for a loved one or for a grandparent or their parents, they can literally just get it at their house, set it all up, and then just drive it over there. And I guess just drive the OmniLab robot right into their house and do the whole meet and greet from there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you had like a family member who needed it, if they were isolated for whatever reason, it would take maybe 10 minutes to get everything set up, and then they wouldn't even have to touch it. You can control everything from your end. So if you're next level, you're there in your office, you could log right in, talk with your parents or your family or whoever, park it and charge it all from right where you're sitting so that they don't have to do anything. It's literally just a charging base and the robot, and that's it.
When somebody purchases one of these robots, what does the onboarding process look like? Like if they're trying to familiarize themselves once they get it, is it something that most people are able just to, I guess, turn on and figure out, or do you guys have like a tutorial or a knowledge base that they would reach out to and ask questions, or how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's obviously very subjective depending on the person.
100%.
Yeah, I would say probably if you guys got a robot, you would be able to set it up and utilize it without much of a learning curve. But for those people that, do need and want to learn on how to set it up, we have our knowledge base on our website set up and with detailed tutorials and guides, many of them in video format to help people set up. It also includes a knowledge card that's included with the robot when you receive it, showing you how to set it up.
Can you tell me a little bit about is it a tablet that's on the top?
Yeah, it's a touchscreen. It's actually, custom. We used to use actual tablets, but now we have, we've created our own. So it's touchscreen with the camera. Like I said, this is the old one. So now there's a newer camera. It's 4K with zoom capabilities. It's really, really, really clear. But yeah, it's a touchscreen. It runs off of a custom version of Android. So it has a speaker and microphone right here at the bottom. And, as you can see, it's just a little bit taller than me sitting down in my chair.
Right.
So it's perfect, for that human experience because, face to face, if they're standing, you can just tilt it up a little bit. If they're sitting, it's, pretty much eye level. So we really wanted to create this experience so that it felt as human as possible.
With the tablet, you mentioned Zoom, but what other social media aspects does the tablet also, I guess, help people interact with? And can you tell us if it also involves any kind of live streaming purposes? If people are trying to, I guess, not just communicate through a call, but could they also live stream through Facebook if they wanted to, or maybe YouTube or any other social media apps that they use?
Yeah, so there are integrations. You can use Zoom. There's a variety of calling apps that you can utilize. I don't know about Facebook. I would have to get back to you on that one. However, when utilizing some of these apps, you may not be able to control the robot. So most people, if you're trying to, physically drive around, you're going to have to do so through our UI. But you can connect with. You can do multi-party calling so that you can have multiple people in the call and talk to them that way. So in terms of streaming, that's a good question. I would have to get back to you. I don't think there's a feature for that yet, but it's a great idea.
Yeah, because I think kind of our idea for the podcast robot is that it live streams and follow us around while we're walking, right? So
yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. All right. So this is the part of the show where we give you the platform. If there's anything that you want to say, anything that you want to shout out, or anything that you want to promote, this is your time to do whatever you'd like. So go ahead and take it away.
Cool. Yeah, I just want to, well, first of all, thank you guys for having me on, and just thank my team for supporting me. They are, like I said, a great group of people, passionate, and yeah, we're here to help people. And so if I'm gonna, shamelessly plug a product, it's going to be the one right behind me. We just love to help people. We love to make change and impact in people's lives, whether it be for your business to help you be more efficient and collaborate better, whether it be for families or sports teams or whomever. We love what we do. We love building technology to help people.
Awesome.
It's awesome the amount of impacts that you guys have done through all the healthcare stuff and the sports experiences that you've shared. We're going to have in the description below the links to your social media, your Facebook and your Twitter, as well as the YouTube channel.
We're on Instagram too.
So we'll have all the links down below, as well as to the website where people can check it out and see all the different scenarios and all the different specs. Like you said, it's been upgraded to the 4K camera now, and it's been more and more intuitive and all that kind of good stuff. I wanted to thank you on behalf of Rohas and myself for joining us here on Beyond the Streams. It's been a blast. I know we're going to have a lot more interesting conversations about technology, about Ohmnilabs, about CES, and all kinds of good stuff. So thank you again, William.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, for sure. And again, thanks again. Anybody out there that's looking for Ohmnilabs, in the description below, you'll find it. Make sure you guys also leave us a review. We love to hear all the comments and everything that you guys do leave us. So make sure you guys do hit us up in the comment section, leave us a review. And you never know who's going to be stopping by in the podcast. So stay tuned to the next episode. With all that being said, we appreciate you for coming one more time onto the show. And everybody else out there, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care, guys.
Hit that like button right there.
Boom.